Good morning, gang. Grab your Bible. We are in Matthew 27, and today is our last day in Matthew 27. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to finish the life of Christ because there's more to it than just his death. So we're going to keep going. There's only one more chapter in Matthew, and we're going to go to the end of it. But Matthew chapter 27, and we're going to be in verse 57. Okay, grab it, your Bible. Read along with me. And it says, when the even was come. So Christ is still hanging on the cross, okay? When the even is come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph. Now, this wasn't the same Joseph that was Mary and Joseph. This wasn't his father, his earthly father. His earthly father had died before this. So this is Joseph of Arimathea. You might want to remember that. Joseph of Arimathea. And you might have to look at that verse to be able to spell it correctly. Joseph of Arimathea, who also himself was Jesus' disciple. He was a follower of Christ. And he went to Pilate and he begged the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth. And he laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out of the rock. So here's Joseph. He has made his own tomb, his own grave. And Papa and I have been there. And it's a large tomb, actually. It's not just a little shelf. It's a tomb that you can actually walk into. There's two different rooms. There's a room for what they call the wailers, the people that are crying and taking care of the dead body and coming to make sure everything is all right. And then there's a separate little room that has a shelf that the body would have been laid on. Okay, so there's two rooms. It was it's a very large tomb, and nobody had ever been there before. It was brand new. Joseph had just finished it, and he'd made it for himself. But Jesus was far more special. So which he had hewn out of the rock, verse 60, and he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre, and he departed. So he took care of Jesus. He wrapped him in cloth, and I'm sure he layered it with oils and essences and probably rosemary. They used to wrap layers and layers of cloth, and then they would, in between the layers, they would put herbs so that it wouldn't stink when the body started decaying. Kind of gross, but that's just how they did it back then. Verse 61, and there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. So they were outside in the garden waiting. Now the next day that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate. Dun, dun, dun. The bad guys always have to come in, don't they? Verse 63, saying, Sir, we remember that deceiver, that's what they called Jesus. We remember that deceiver said, while he was yet alive, after 3 days I will rise again. Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure. That means make sure that he can't get out of it until the third day, lest the disciples come by night and steal him away and say unto the people, See, he is risen from the dead. So that the last error shall be worse than the first. They said, if the disciples come and steal the body, they can tell people, see, he rose again. So what's Pilate going to do? Pilate said unto them, Ye have a watch. Go your way, make it as sure as you can. So they went and made to the sepulchre and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch. Now, let me explain what that means. There was this huge stone. It is no longer there. There are similar stones that you can see around that cover the openings of tombs. But we're talking the entryway was, Papa had to stoop a little bit. So it was right around 6 feet tall for the doorway. And so this stone is huge. They would roll it. There was a groove that they would cut in the rock, and they'd roll the stone and roll the stone. Well, They wanted to make sure that the stone could not be rolled away. So when they say that they set a watch there, they didn't take off their watch and put it on it. No, they put guards by the tomb. And then they sealed the stone with a wax seal. Not that that's going to secure it, but that if that seal is broken, then they know that somebody has gotten in and taken the body. So they made it as secure as they possibly could. And they did all this because they were thinking that the disciples would come and steal Jesus's body. But we know better, don't we? We know the end of the story. And we're going to get to that the next time we come together. So there was Jesus in the tomb and guards outside. Can't wait to hear how it ends, huh? I love you. Hope you're having a great day.